it is always important to plan and budget your finances. Proudly brought to you by Money 93.7 FM. Think Business. Money Evening News. Money Evening News.
In your financial indicators today, Friday, 11th November 2022, the United States dollar is buying at 16 kwacha 24 ngwe and selling at 16 kwacha 56 ngwe. The Great British Pound is buying at 19 kwacha 12 ngwe and selling at 19 kwacha 50 ngwe. The euro is buying at 16 kwacha 74 ngwe and selling at 17 kwacha 7 ngwe. The South African rand is buying at 94 ngwe and selling at 95 ngwe. Those are your financial indicators. The news headlines. The news headlines. Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry says government's plan is to attain average annual growth rate of at least 5% for manufacturing sector.
To attain an average annual growth rate of at least 5% for the manufacturing sector.
Mines Minister says the mining sector accounts for 17.5% of the country's gross domestic product.
If we can even go to 80%, maybe by the time we are finishing the first term in office of the new law. So that is how serious and committed we are.
Officials from Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi says Wednesday evening's national blackout was as a result of vandalism. Chanda, Nachula and Kunda Nanji set to link up with Copper Queen's squad for Colombia friendly matches. Hello and welcome to the Money Evening News on Money FM. I am Best Jerry. Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry says government's plan is to attain an average annual growth rate of at least 5% for the manufacturing sector from 2022 to 2026. Speaking during a media briefing ahead of the 11th edition of the 2022 Manufacturers Week, which runs from 14th to 18th November, Ministry's Permanent Secretary, John Mulongoti, says government also aims to increase the share of manufactured goods in total non-traditional exports to 55% by 2026. Mr. Mulongoti states that achievement of the set targets will require the development of an innovative manufacturing sector that is well supported by a conducive business environment. He says the Zambia Association of Manufacturers provides a platform that links manufacturers in the country and government. Hence, government will continue to support and work with the private sector in industrializing the country's economy.
Government's aim, as espoused in the 8th National Plan, is to attain an average annual growth rate of at least 5% for the manufacturing sector in the period 2022 to 2026, and further to increase the share of manufactured goods total non-traditional exports to 55% by 2026. Achievement of these targets requires the development of an innovative manufacturing sector that is well supported by a conducive business environment. The government attaches great importance to the manufacturing sector in Zambia. Hence, our continued support of this flagship event which reflects Zambia's manufacturers. I am delighted to note the various activities lined up for the manufacturers group. The ministry, in encourages companies in the manufacturing sector to register with the Zambia manufacturers in order for them to benefit from the collective and effective advocacy.
Speaking at the same event, Zambia Bureau of Standards ZAB's acting executive director Nathan C. Ngambwa says the Bureau is committed to ensuring that businesses embrace the use of standards and conformity assessment services because success of local products and services on the local and international market hinges on quality. And Zambia Association of Manufacturers, ZAM Chief Executive Officer Muntanga Lee Ndunda says the association wants to see quality products on the market.
The success of our local products and services on the local and international market hinges on quality. We are excited as Zambia Bureau of Standards that the efforts in implementing standards and conformity assessment services industry are yielding great results as evidenced not only by the fact award but also by the increase in demand for products and services certified by Zambia Bureau of Standards. In line with our mandate and Zambia Bureau of Standards, we are committed to ensuring that business in all sectors of the economy embrace the use of standards and conformity assessment services so that the industry can make a meaningful contribution to the growth of our international trade. ZABS will strengthen stakeholder engagement and create public awareness on the importance of quality in product and services.
Meanwhile, First National Bank (FNB) has contributed 100,000 kwacha towards the Manufacturers Week, and bank senior manager SME Banking Michelle Chiwe says the financial institution expects a lot of small and medium enterprises (SMEs) to get involved in the activities so as to grow and start mechanizing their products and services.
We're looking forward to working with the Zambia Association of Forest and looking forward to work with all the business entities who will be involved in the manufacturing. It goes from the bigger businesses, the corporates, the commercial customers, the business and the SME customers. So we believe that the economy to run, it has to run with all these kind of businesses and especially excited with the SME sector. We know that there's no economy which has run without the SME sector. All the bigger economies decline like 70 to 75 businesses being run there and the SMEs.
I just want to acknowledge the strategic partnership that we have with ZAPS. And because we want to see not just local products on the market, ZAPS is a strategic partner that helps ensure that quality products are on the market. And for that, we are really grateful.
The government says Zambia stands ready to collaborate with Congo Basin member countries on emission reduction and removal projects of mutual benefit and interest. Minister of Green Economy and Environment Collins Nzovu has further urged member countries to collaborate, exchange information, knowledge sharing, best practices and experiences on carbon credits, such as national regulatory frameworks and policies governing the management and development of carbon markets. Mr. Nzovu has also reiterated the need for member countries to collaborate and put in place the required institutional and legal frameworks to effectively participate in the carbon trading as provided for in Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. He says this will help generate sustainable development benefit and improve livelihoods of the people, especially rural communities.
By acknowledging the potential that the Congo Basin has in emission reduction, as well as facilitating the carbon trade across the region. Let me hasten and recall the need for member countries to collaborate and put in place the required institutional and legal frameworks to effectively participate in the carbon trade. This is provided for in Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, and it will help generate sustainable development benefits. This will improve livelihoods of our people, especially our rural communities, and obviously also contribute to mitigation measures. Allow me therefore to outline some of the programs my country has initiated to effectively participate in the carbon trade. And these, among others, include prioritizing sustainable forest management in its NDCs, and we increased our NDC up to 47% now.
We take a short break. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
For business on the go, visit www.moneyfmzambia.com to watch, stream, and download various programs from anywhere in the world.
Mines and Minerals Development Minister says the mining sector accounts for 17.5% of the gross domestic product, GDP, over 70% of foreign exchange earnings, 30% of government revenue, and 2% of formal employment. Speaking during the official launch of the National Mineral Resources Development Policy, Paul Kabuswe says the sector remains critical as it is one of the key drivers in fostering economic development. Mr. Kabuswe states that over the past 9 years, the mining sector has been governed by the Mineral Resources Development Policy of 2013. Hence, the launch of the new policy will be followed by the review of the existing legal framework, such as Mines and Minerals Development Act of 2015 and its subsidiary legislation. He says it is expected that implementation of the new policy will contribute in unlocking investment in the sector and result in increased business and job creation in the mining sector to ensure benefits for Zambians in line with the government's aspiration.
If we can even go to 80%, maybe by the time we are finishing the first term in office of the new law. So that is how serious and committed we are. Last year, we were given a budget of 95 million. This year, we will be given a budget of 278 million. That in itself shows you the intention of this government, that we really want to upscale mining in this country and give it the importance that it deserves. Mining plays a key role, and our role in the economy as a ministry, we don't take it lightly. So through this, we are calling upon our cooperating partners, especially on the role which exploration and mapping plays. It is unthinkable and unbelievable action, Dr. that we are only 55% explored when we are almost getting to 60 years of independence. What have we been doing? There are several programs that we have put in place. We are well vested with what we want to do. We are running away from politicians who are sitting on top of a ministry.
And Mr. Kabuswe says the policy seeks to scale up geological mapping and mineral exploration, enhance transparency, accountability, and integrity in the administration of mining and non-mining rights, as well as enhance oversight and regulation of the sector through establishment of the Mining Regulatory Commission.
The new policy has taken on board various emerging issues, including global development such as the energy transition, which presents an opportunity for Zambia to benefit by effectively exploiting the energy mineral. The policy has also taken into consideration the aspirations of government, which is meeting the 3 million tons of copper. And the new policy that's been crafted to comprehensively and strategically reposition the mining sector to promote sustainable utilization of the country's mineral resources. The new policy seeks to achieve. We want to scale up geological mapping and mineral exploration. We also want to enhance transparency, accountability, and integrity in the administration of mining and non-mining rights. We took this step of closing cadastre because we wanted to speak to this item. Even before the policy was launched, some of the things we were already implementing.
This is Money Evening News at 17:30. Zambia Federation of Employers, ZFE, has called on employers and unions in the private sector to emulate parties that took part in the negotiations of salary increment for civil servants by 10.5%. Speaking in an interview with Money FM News, Federation Chief Executive Officer Harrington Chibanda says it is good to note that the negotiations between government and trade union representatives were successful. Mr. Chibanda has commended the parties that were involved in the negotiations because in the past, negotiations ended up in disagreements, thereby wasting a productive time.
When we hear that the parties have agreed on the 10.5%, I think the first thing is to commend the party and say that it's actually good that the negotiations went on smoothly and finally there's an agreement to satisfy the both parties that were involved. So it's a commendable job, and we would like to call on even employers in the private sector and the unions in the private sector to emulate that approach to negotiations, that there should be no time wasting. There should be no confrontation in negotiations, but instead we bring in industrial harmony and engage each other carefully and come up with results that satisfy the parties, both parties that are involved.
According to a memo being circulated, Zambia Union of Nurses organization ZUNO, government has agreed to increase salaries for all civil servants by 10.5% effective 1st January 2023. Further, subsistence allowance has been reviewed upwards by 240 kwacha, and out-of-pocket allowance has been reviewed upwards by 100 kwacha for all divisions and locations.
For business on the go, visit www.moneyfmzambia.com to watch, stream, and download various programs from anywhere in the world.
Political news, powered by Money FM.
In political news, a political party says the National Pension Scheme Authority, NAPSA pension scheme, should be redesigned to begin paying beneficiaries a lump sum at the time of retirement because it only benefits management in its current form. Movement for Democratic Change MDC Vice President in charge of politics, Leonard Hikaumba, notes that the pension scheme at NAPSA only benefits more those in management who may want to maintain the status quo where their conditions of service are extremely good, yet what those who contribute get is equivalent to nothing. Mr. Hikaumba says NAPSA reforms are important, hence the design of the pension scheme should be similar to what exists at Public Service Pension Fund, where beneficiaries are given a lump sum payment, thereby being able to do something significant with their monies. Mr. Hikaumba states that this is unlike the case at NAPSA, where beneficiaries are not given a lump sum, which as a result leaves them impoverished after retirement because the monthly pension arrangement given cannot attain meaningful investment.
Extremely good. Apart from the high salaries that they get, they are also entitled to gratuity because their contracts are for a limited period to which they are entitled to gratuity. But for the owners of the money, the workers who are contributing to that scheme, what they get is really nothing. Because when you consider that they will get 40% of the current position, how is that person going to make anything out of that? Giving a lump sum, the way Public Service Pension Fund is doing, would be the best. And that is why we are saying to start resolving that problem, all the new recruited government workers should contribute to Public Service Pension Fund so that we don't continue that they will get 40% of the current position. How is that person going to make anything out of that? Giving a lump sum, the way Public Service Pension Fund is doing, would be the best. And that is why we are saying to start resolving that problem, all the new recruited government workers should contribute to Public Service Pension Fund so that we don't continue building a problem at NAPSA.
Still to come is international and sports news. Stay tuned.
Qualify for free secondary school education at one of Zambia's oldest and leading independent schools? Every year since 1997, Rosepark School has been offering the Follow-Tier Memorial Scholarships to the top performing candidates in our Grade 8 entrance examination. The winners of the Follotier Memorial Scholarships received complimentary tuition at Rhodes Park School from grade 8 to grade 12 as follows. The major scholarships are given to a male and a female candidate and are valid for 100% of tuition fee. In addition, there are minor scholarships, again male and female, that are valid for 75% of tuition fee. The 2022 grade 8 entrance examination for external students will be held at 9 hours on Saturday, the 12th of November. A fee of 1,000 kwacha is payable before sitting this examination. Please call us on 0211 291634 or visit our main campus at Sibweni Road, Northmead for booking an exam space or for further details. You can also find out more at www.rhodesparkschool.net. Terms and conditions apply.
Rhodes Park School, education for the real world. Money International News. Money International News.
Welcome back. You are still listening to Money Evening News and now international news. Officials from Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi, ESCOM, say Wednesday evening's national blackout was as a result of vandalism on one of its towers in Blantyre. Nyasa Times reports that Director of Systems and Market Operations at the power utility company, Charles Kagona, says, meanwhile, the development has led to the loss of about 30% of its power supply. He has since affirmed the challenge will be addressed by Saturday this week. For more such stories, join us for Africa Business Report at 0845 weekdays. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says he intends to ask Chinese President Xi Jinping to drop trade restrictions on billions of dollars of exports if the two leaders met for the first time this month. Speaking ahead of his departure for the East Asia Summit in Cambodia, Albanese said he will ask Xi to lift counterproductive tariffs and other trade measures if the two men meet during a slate of high-profile gatherings, including the G20 Leaders Summit in Bali, which begins on Tuesday. Al Jazeera reports that Albanese, who replaced Conservative Prime Minister Scott Morrison, says a meeting with Xi was not yet locked in, but he hopes to develop a relationship with China based on cooperation and the national interest after years of troubled ties between the sides. For more such stories, join us for Global Business Report at 1750 weekdays. This is the Money Evening News at 1730. In sports news, Spain-based Copa Queens trio has left Madrid on a direct flight to Cali, where they are expected to link up with the team ahead of the two international friendlies with Colombia on November 12th and 15th. Faz Media has disclosed that Madrid CFF duo of Rachel Kunda Nanji and Grace Chanda and Zaragoza CFF forward Rachel Nachula are among the 6 foreign-based players called for the Colombia assignment that serves as preparation for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. The Turkey-based trio of goalkeeper Hazel Nali, defender Margaret Belemu, and midfielder Misozi Zulu complete the list of foreign-based stars summoned by coach Bruce Murphy. The Copa Queens first match against Colombia will be played at Paso Warrior and kickoff will be at midnight on Saturday, with the second match set for Pasco Guerrero at 02:30 hours on Wednesday morning. Luis Enrique has called up Barcelona forward Ansu Fati for the 2022 World Cup as he announced his Spain squad. France 24 reports that the 20-year-old Barcelona forward was not used in September's Nations League clashes and has not been at his best for his club this season. Fati has 4 caps for his country and 1 goal, and has spent the best part of the last 2 seasons on the sidelines because of repeated knee injuries. According to France 24, Luis Enrique included him in a list of 26 players for the tournament in Qatar, which did not include veteran Paris Saint-Germain defender Sergio Ramos, despite speculation he could return. As we end the news, we look at the headlines once again. The news headlines. The Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry says government's plan is to attain average annual growth rate of at least 5% for manufacturing sector.
As espoused in the 8 national plan, is to attain an average annual growth rate of at least 5% for the manufacturing sector.
Mines and Minerals Development Minister says the mining sector accounts for 17.5% of the gross domestic product.
It go to 80%, maybe by the time we are finishing the first term in office of the new law. So that is how serious and committed we are.
Officials from Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi say Wednesday evening's national blackout was as a result of vandalism. Chanda, Nachula, and Kundananji set to link up with Copper Queen's squad for Colombia friendly matches. For these stories and more, be sure to visit our website on www.moneyfmzambia.com. Follow us on Facebook, Money FM Zambia, on Twitter and Instagram, Money FM Zambia. You can also download our Money FM app from App Store and Google Play Store. And for marketing, contact us on +260 967 865040 or 0211 252237. Thank you for listening to Money Evening News. I am Best Jerry. Good evening. This is Money FM.
Money Evening News. Money Evening News. Global Business Report. Get global, go global now on Global Business with Money FM, your business radio.
Oil jumps as China eases COVID curbs. Major crypto exchange FTX begins bankruptcy proceedings in the US. Recession looms as United Kingdom economy starts to shrink.
Global Business Report. Get global, go global now on Global Business with Money FM, your business radio.
Oil prices have jumped after health authorities in top global crude importer China eased some of the country's heavy COVID curbs. CNBC reports Brent crude futures rose 2.47% Brent crude futures rose $2.47 or 2.6% to $96.13 a barrel, extending a 1.1% rise in the previous session. United States West Texas Intermediate WTI crude futures gained $2.54 or 2.9% to $89.01 a barrel, after climbing 0.8% in the previous session. Australian authorities have blamed Russia-based hackers for a cyber attack that exposed the personal information of private health insurance customers, including details of abortions and treatments for addiction and HIV. Al Jazeera reports Australian Federal Police AFP Commissioner Rhys Kesher says that a group of loosely affiliated cyber criminals linked to data breaches elsewhere was responsible for the cyber attack on Medicare. Kesher says that authorities know the identity of the individuals behind the cyber attack, which comprise data belonging to almost 10 million customers, but will not name them at this time. The United Kingdom appears to be heading into recession after the latest official figures showed the economy shrank between July and September. BBC reports the economy contracted 0.2% during the 3 months as soaring prices hit businesses and households. A country is in recession when its economy shrinks for 2 3-month periods in a row. According to BBC, the UK is expected to be in one by the end of the year. We take a break. We'll be back shortly.
Next time you're thirsty, think Aquarite Purified Water. Supplies of 18.9 liters, 750 mils, 500 mils, 10 liters, 5 liters, and 2 liters purified water. We also supply water dispensers. In our efforts to serve you better, we repair and service water dispensers. Deliveries are also made to our corporate clients. You can access our purified water from all leading wholesalers, supermarkets, retail outlets, members at all Aquarite depots or containers. Get in touch with us on 0977 799414 or 0211 286998. Email aquariteltd@gmail.com. We are situated off Mumwa Road opposite Zamanita. Aquarite, live a vibrant life.
Global Business Report. Get global, go global now on Global Business on Money FM, your business radio.
FTX, one of the world's biggest cryptocurrency exchange, is commencing bankruptcy proceedings in the US. Sky Business News reports Sam Bankman Fried, its 30-year-old chief executive who once graced the cover of Forbes, is also resigning days after its bigger rival Binance walked away from a proposed acquisition. His replacement, John J. Ray Thade, says the FTX group has valuable assets that can only be effectively administered in an organized joint process. Stocks surged on Thursday in their best day since 2020 after a key inflation indicator came in softer than expected. CNN reports investors broke out their party as they interpreted the report to mean that peak inflation may finally be behind them. That means that the Federal Reserve could be less aggressive with its rate hikes. According to CNN, but Wall Street's memory is short. Less than 2 weeks ago, Fed Chair Jerome Powell unambiguously said rates would remain higher for longer. Investors may be in for another letdown as sustained price pressure in housing, wages, and energy mean the central bank still has a long way to go in its battle against inflation. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to join us on Monday for another Global Business Report. This has been Best Jerry. Stay tuned.
Global Business Report. Get global, go global now on Global Business on Money FM, your business radio.